It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.
Well, you got him to turn the music down? Yeah. You done took over.
All right. We are here in Oakland at Souley Vegan with one of the hood legends, man. I just want to say thank you coming out the gate. We got Freeway. Why do I keep saying that? Freeway Ricky Ross.
Yeah.
There we go, man.
Freeway Ricky. Some people just call it just Freeway Ricky.
I am going to have my boy Rudy when he gets here. He works radio, and he's just getting off. So he said he's going to come join us. He was like, boy, I want him. He goes, fuck anybody else you've interviewed. I need to meet Freeway. So, so I said, Rudy, come on through.
Come on through, Rudy.
He goes, hey, man, make sure you let me know what questions you guys already have talked about. So let's just get started. For the viewers that don't know who you are, man, if I'm Wikipediaing it correctly, and Vlad TV, I watch Vlad TV a lot. So that's my dude. I mean, I think he's originally from the Bay Area as well. So
I ain't for sure. I
think he lives down in L.A. now. But
I'm second on Vlad, only the Bootsy.
Oh, yeah. So if you guys haven't watched any of those Vlad TV interviews, man, you got to go on YouTube, because you will learn a lot more about Ricky than you're going to be able to right now.
Digest.
But so you were one of the biggest cocaine dealers in the early 80s?
Yeah. I think LA Times said that I was the first crack millionaire.
First crack millionaire.
Yeah, that's what they said.
And just to put it in
never kept records
for the viewers. It was funny because I was watching one of the interviews and you talked about how when Magic Johnson got his contract, he got signed for like 25 years or something, $1.2 million a season.
Yeah.
And you said, thank God I don't play basketball because I don't want to get paid as little as that man was making.
Not no $1 million a year.
It's been said that you sold over $1 billion worth of cocaine. And that was back then. So you can only imagine how much money it would be with inflation, because it seems like everybody's now a billionaire, right? Like million is just, that's low money.
Nothing no more.
I don't have that shit. So if anybody wants to share $1 million with me, go ahead, right? I'm just a hustler here on a Thursday afternoon trying to get an interview.
We're going to give you $1 million worth of game today. How about that?
Okay. And I see that. One of the very interesting facts about you, I was trying to tell my kids, right? I got an 18-year-old and 21-year-old, and I was trying to put them on game and show them your interviews and stuff. And I said, one of the interesting things about you is that you said before you got caught and then you went to prison, you couldn't read and write.
No, I couldn't, not at all.
And that you were the one that got yourself out because you read the law books and you went to your attorneys and said, hey, man, why aren't we doing this, that, and the other? Yep. And that, to me, alone is just mind-blowing that someone has that willpower. So
what I found out about myself is that I've been able to get whatever I want out of life. Whatever I wanted, I've been able to get it. Even with including, going to prison, and people, I tell that to people sometime and they look at me like I'm crazy. But what I actually did was I planned in the back of my mind that for the crimes that I were committing, that I should go to prison.
That's an awkward statement to make. Is that you were planning at some point to go to prison?
Absolutely.
Most people don't. Most people are like, and they didn't realize that it was coming.
Well,
so
I
by
knew,
you saying that, did you set aside some money knowing that because a lot of drug dealers out in this game don't realize it. I watch one of the greatest shows on TV was The Wire, right? I love that because it's so true to the game, right? And I just look at them and there's a lot of drug dealers that they're never going to catch me. So you had that mindset from day one?
No. I had the mindset that I should go to prison for the crimes that I was committing unconsciously. not consciously saying that I'm going to go to prison, but unconsciously because when I was in prison, I studied the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind, what it does is it feeds off of the conscious mind. You know, like if it's something, say for instance, it's a saying where man don't get what he say he wants, he gets what he truly wants. Huh. You know, like some people, say for instance, you hear some people and they'll say, I want to be rich, right?
Yeah.
But they doing all poor shit.
Yeah.
So what they wind up getting is poor. If that makes sense to you.
No, it makes total sense. I think it is a mindset. You know, just with this podcast, you know, I've been doing it 3 seasons, and I'm willing to come out and do whatever it takes so that way I can make some of this. You know, I look at someone like Vlad. I look at someone like Vlad, and I'm like, you know, people didn't think he was what he was going to turn out to be, and now he's got 5 million subscribers plus. You know what I mean? And that's how he pays.
He's the biggest
a whole crew of people.
He's the biggest on the internet. He's the biggest hip hop show on the internet right now.
And if I could get a minuscule of that, I think I'll be doing all right. So let me go ahead and invite my boy Rudy in, and
come on, Rudy.
Let me check the mic level though.
What's up, Rudy?
How you doing, man? Rudy, good to meet you, man.
Likewise.
Yes, sir. Sorry for barging in on you guys.
Welcome to my favorite restaurant in the Bay Area.
Yes, sir. I heard you're a vegan, an avid vegan.
32 years, going on 32 years.
Excellent.
If it's not 32, I'm going on 32. I'm real close.
You're a man of conviction, man. I don't know if I could last 32 years doing that.
Well, if you come up with the right reasons why you're vegan, you could.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what were your reasons?
Well,
let's jump into that.
It started off as a bet, you know, and I like challenges, you know, like I hate for somebody to tell me you can't.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to show you I can.
Yeah.
So my guy was like, I bet you can't quit eating meat for 6 months. And I was like, oh, I can if I want to. I don't want to. And then he was like, oh, you can't do it. I'm telling you, you weak.
Yeah.
And I was like, bet $100. And he was like, bet $100. So we made the bet. I won the bet. And the next day after I won the bet was chicken day. I was in the penitentiary.
Yeah.
So it was chicken day. So I took the $100 that I won and I bought all fried chicken. And me and a couple guys, we were just sitting there. We had a pile of fried chicken. You know, in the joint, $100 is a lot of money.
Yeah. It's going a long way.
Especially
It go a
back
long
then,
way.
right?
Yeah. And this is in like 88, 89. So it was still had some value, $1.
Lucky for him, you guys didn't make the bet $100 per year. You know? Otherwise, he'd be broke.
No, lucky for me. Lucky for me, because if I had to eat fried chicken, every time. So
You said 32 years? Is that what I overheard?
32. Yeah. So
Have you felt healthier ever since then?
I don't know. I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, right.
But I know this here. When I ate that fried chicken that day, I pigged out on the fried chicken. You know, because it was my favorite. You know?
Right. Hey.
Do you miss meat?
No, not
at
at
all?
all. I mean, meat turns my stomach.
Yeah,
Just to think about it.
I would think after 32 years, your whole system gets accustomed to like a certain
that's
diet.
what
You know.
I was going to tell you about
Yeah.
the chicken thing. So I eat this chicken, and we laughing at my buddy, you know, because he's sitting at another table with the vegans, and they all sitting there, and I'm licking on the chicken. You know how we do when you're teasing somebody. Man, I walked out of there. Oh my goodness, I was so sick.
Oof.
Sicker than I ever been before. It felt like I was just eating like a bucket of lard.
Right.
So after that day, you know, I went
He's
laid
gonna
up in
ruin
the
meat
room.
for us.
Right.
And no, if I told you about meat, then I'd really run it for you. But I ain't gonna do that because I don't push my veganism on nobody. You know, it's a personal thing.
Of course.
And everybody has to make their own choices. But after that day, you know, I was like, if I get over this here, I ain't never eat meat again. And that was the last time I ever ate meat. Yeah.
And how long have you been coming to this establishment? Like I said, on the way here when I called, then they were like, yeah, we know Ricky. He's going to buy all the pies when he comes. So
That's
it
how they
sounds
know
to me
me.
like they know you around here.
I've been coming here since I've been coming to Oakland. You know, I never really came to Oakland until I got out of prison.
which was how long ago? It's been.
I've been out 13 years.
13 years.
13 years.
13
Yes,
years.
13 and count, baby.
Yes, sir. Hey, keep it going, man. 13. Hope for another 13, hopefully,
And
you know?
I don't think it ever got brought up on the Vlad interview. Is you did federal time, right? Not state time.
Federal. All
Where's
federal.
where's the federal prison? It was, and then
Lompoc.
you moved around different
USP
states.
Lompoc was where they the feds move you around, they shuffle you around.
Right.
I did
So when you did your time here in California, where was it?
Lompoc. I was in San Diego,
Okay.
MCC San Diego. I was in MDC Los Angeles. I was at USP Lompoc. I was at FCI Victorville, FCI Phoenix, Arizona. Did a couple months in Oklahoma, El Reno, Oklahoma. I did 5 years in Texarkana.
Texarkana. So
And
they
a couple other,
extradited you
and a
to
couple other.
Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
They took me to Texas and
Now, because it's
in Con
federal,
Air. I rode in Con Air.
You rode in Con Air?
Oh,
Yeah,
Con Air, like in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta earn that though. You know, they don't let just everybody ride on Con Air, man. Come on, man.
You gotta be a special
You gotta
passenger
be a
to get on
special
Con Air,
passenger
man.
to get on Con
You were
Air,
right in front of
man.
Nick Cage, man.
And then if you get the black box, you know they got this little black box,
Yeah.
right? That they put in between your handcuffs. You know, because you want to do like this, but then when you're really special, they put this black box on you and it holds your hands like this the
Right.
whole time, and then they chain the hands to your waist belt. They put a waist chain on you, and then they change that to there, and then you're like walking around. And you can't move your arms.
Right.
And you can't raise them up. You can't raise them down. You can't go sideways.
They don't want to run any risks whatsoever. That's why they don't even let you
really
touch
fucked
your hands.
up. And then you shackled too.
Yeah.
But then when you're really bad, right? Like it was a guy I was sitting next to, and he had 2 of those black boxes on
Damn.
and 2 sets of handcuffs, because he could break handcuffs.
Oh, wow.
This guy was so fucking strong.
That's how strong he was. He could just yank
he could
them
just
off.
yank a pair of
Wow.
handcuffs off. Yeah. And
Man.
he was a Cuban guy.
Well, I'm curious. You know, obviously, like if you don't mind me asking, Rick, I don't want to just barge
go
in,
ahead,
but
go
I
ahead.
am curious though about this because I've seen many interviews. We've all seen many interviews of yours, and part of the reason why you were even in that situation that you just described is because the lifestyle that you led beforehand.
Absolutely.
And it landed you there, but. That's not really the part that, I mean, I've heard many stories about people being in shackles and the prison system and whatnot, and that's a whole nother world. But I'm curious, though, about the lifestyle that you led before that. And the reason I say that is because I just overheard you guys talking about how, a man is going to live the life that he wants, not the one that he says that he wants.
Correct.
And that kind of sparked something in my head because when I think about the life that you led and how lucrative the business was that you were involved with, I'm curious to get your take on this. When you touch that type of money, when a man touches that type of money, how does that change the individual? I mean, we all know that money could buy you different things. Money can get you, it can attain you all these different pleasures. But how does money itself actually change the individual?
Well, I won't say that I necessarily changed as an individual, but one thing money buys you is knowledge. Well, people will give you knowledge for money. They will exchange knowledge for money. And I think that was the biggest thing that happened to me is that gave me a greater exposure to information. When I say that, people that will share information to you. It's funny right now, in the world today, because when people get information, they hold it close to themselves, and they don't want to give it away.
Right.
The saying, game is to be sold, not told.
Right.
And unfortunately for society, that's the way human beings are playing it now. No matter how much money they get, they still want you to pay for the game.
Right.
Like, fuck that. I'm a billionaire, but you still gonna give me $300 for the game. And what happens is the people who don't have $300 wind up missing out on some valuable information.
Right.
But I think the most thing that it did is it educated me. When I first started selling drugs, I never thought about buying a house. You know what I'm saying? So, and I talked about that before, how easy it is for a youngster to learn how to sell drugs. They can go in almost any corner and any, dope fiend or half dope fiend or two-bit hustler can give them the game of how to sell drugs. But on the other hand, if they want to learn how to sell real estate or if they want to learn how to get a car dealer license or how to sell insurance, there's very few people in the ghetto that can provide that kind of information.
Right. And do you think that when you look back on it now, is there anything that you may have, if you had been either more patient or maybe if you had chosen a different route, is there stuff that you learned along the way because of the money that maybe you could have picked up along the way? If
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Tons of information. You know, I know now that with $1,000 I could have got rich.
Right.
You know, if it was manipulated and used correctly, it doesn't take a whole lot of money, you know, if you got the game. But when you don't have game, then you got to depend on something else. And what happened with me is cocaine became kind of like my crutch. Whenever things wasn't going right, the first thing I would do is go sell some cocaine. I'm literally living like a dope fiend.
Right.
You know, I'm dope fiending it really, you know, just I'm not using the drugs, but I'm
selling it.
I got to have it every day. I need it. You know what I'm saying? I got to see it. I want to smell it. And unconsciously, you may not even know that these things are going on in your life. Like with me, I didn't figure this out until I was sitting in prison and I started looking back over my behavior during the time that I was selling drugs. And it was the behavior of a drug addict.
Wow.
Now, you got to be like one of the most humble dealers that I've ever met, or past dealers, right? And you're so nonchalant about the money that you made, right? And back then you had the money, but didn't have the fame because you were more low key. You weren't.
I didn't want nobody to know me.
Yeah,
I didn't care if they knew me.
Which was the smart way to do it, right?
Yeah.
But now you might not make $1 million a day like you was back in your heyday, right? But everybody that knows who you are knows who you are. So do you prefer life then, or prefer the money and the no fame, or living decent and the love that you get?
I love my life right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think, I don't know, but you know, in life, every moment that you live in is supposed to be the best moment ever. You know, so right now I feel like I'm living in my best times. You know, I've never had it as good as I got it right now. No, I can't go spend $100,000 a day or $200,000, but I still feel like today is the best day of my whole life. You
Absolutely.
know? And I try to live it like that. And as far as the humbleness, you know, it's a facade.
You still think you're the shit. Hey, you got to keep a little piece of that inside at all times.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. You know, you got to always tell yourself, you know, because people don't like boastful people.
Right.
You know, they don't like people who think that they the shit and everybody else. I think that we're all just as important. You know, I don't think that I'm more important than you, and I don't think that you're more important than me, nor him or any of us, you know, when it all comes down to it, because each one of us, you know, values our life, you
Absolutely.
know, and you're supposed to. So, you know, I'm just living and enjoying the moment.
Boy Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.